Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Alexis Guenoun, President of North America at Temenos, to discuss where banks are prioritizing their technology investment in 2021 and beyond. Alexis, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Hi, Jill. Thank you, and good to be here on Trade Talk as well.
The COVID-19 pandemic changed the way a lot of industries operate. What have you seen being the biggest shift in the banking sector?
Well, as you probably know, and maybe your viewers know, we only do banking software. So indeed, we've been very much in touch with all our 3,000 customers and 1,300 here in the US to understand what the changes were. And obviously, the first thing we've seen is that this has put a massive acceleration on digital transformation as well as cloud adoption. So we've seen banks reducing their branches or limit the access to branches, closing some down, reducing their workforce in branches, having them work remotely. And again, at the beginning, we thought this would be short, but we all know, after, it takes 21 days to form a habit and about 90 days pretty much to change a lifestyle. And I think we're there. So these trends are here to stay for me. It's digital, it's cloud. This is what we're going to see. And we've seen that with all our customers.
With the change in consumer behavior, where are banks prioritizing their technology investment in 2021?
Well, we just mentioned, definitely cloud and the digital side. If you look at what executives are saying, we've actually had a report with the Economist Intelligence Unit on this, where we talked to a C-level executive in banks, and for them, 66% of them actually, the idea is that they will push forward with global transformation in the digital space, and that would be their main focus for the next 5 years. That's actually quite a significant trend. They're also looking for a large part of them at enhancing their digital ecosystem. So they're realizing that they won't be going at it alone. They will be having fintechs, they will be having other participants in the market, engaging with them and enhancing their offering to clients. The other trend clearly we're seeing, and where people are investing and banks are investing and our clients are very interested, is anything to do with AI. Again, that's about customer experience, but not only. It's customer experience as well as anything to do with fraud detection. Obviously, a lot of online businesses now, and that's something important to them. As well as even for the way they operate. How can they facilitate and how can they learn from how their employees are working, and how can they make that way of working faster and better? So that's something we see quite significantly. Cloud, again, I think the pandemic has shown them that if they didn't have to access server rooms and machines, they were more agile and they made a switch very, very quickly to remote. And we, again, back to the previous question, remote working is here to stay most probably. So again, that's also something that banks are investing in, moving as much as they can into cloud.
Alexa, what are the trends we're going to see in banking going forward, particularly in the United States?
So if you look at the trends, again, business models are going to change. We mentioned the ecosystem. This is something everybody's talking about. And if you look at in the US specifically, we're seeing a lot of neobanks entering the field. So whether it is pure new brands, whether it is fintechs becoming banks, we've seen that with one of our clients, Varo Bank, who's made history by becoming the first fintech actually to gain a national charter. So very proud of this. They're doing that on our cloud technology. So that's also a kind of new banks we're going to see. We're going to see also bigger bank building new brands. We've seen a few of those, and again, it's accelerating. So finding different ways to touch different type of demographics really, and having alternative models. Also, banks are looking at a different purpose. And again, Varo is a good example there. Their idea is really to serve the people who are not really served by traditional banks because they don't have enough income. They're not the best clients that those banks would want to attract. And this is something that Varo is very passionate about. So bank with a purpose is really something we're starting to see a lot. The other thing is the influence of big techs. Again, banks are rethinking their digital experience. It's no longer about just, making a deposit, cashing a check, paying your bills. It's also the experience you're going to get. It's how much your bank can help you with your managing your money, for example. And all of these things, again, are things that we're seeing. And this is I would say, where banks are going to invest really.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up demographics because you've explained to us how technology is going to enable this banking transformation, but I think it's also going to help providing banking for the unbanked, right, around the world.
Yeah, and it's, again, we've been actually at Temenos very active in that field. I mean, we were working with the UN on that for a long time, probably over 10 years now, in the sphere of microfinance. And people felt that microfinance was pretty much only for, as you said, the unbanked. And what we're seeing now is that even in widely, I mean, where the number of unbanked people is very small, and probably US is one of the cases, it's still going to bring new models to fruition, and places where banks would have, as I said, a different purpose. And that will have to go for a transformation. Banks will not be able to do that at the cost they're servicing their client today with the technology they're using today. They will have to become more nimble. They will have to become more agile. They would have, obviously, to reduce their costs. And that's what we bring to the table, actually.
All right, Alexa, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.